Hi guys, welcome to our Reaside buy-to-let project. So the landlord has just picked up their keys and they've just given it to me to do a quick walk around. So the purpose of today is to do sort of the initial walk around, decide what needs doing, and then get a quote from our builder. Now this project, it's a bit of an interesting one because so the property, there isn't a lot that needs doing to it, and that actually isn't necessarily always a good thing. Generally speaking, you want to be adding value and some sort of appreciation, and then sort of refinance at a high price. Equally, you can just buy it in a great condition and rent it out straight away, but that's not really. That's more about parking your money and getting sort of quick cash flow. Because you're not adding value, you're really unlikely to release, to recycle any of your cash back out. Alternatively, the owner might have purchased this below market value, and then when it comes to refinancing, they can sort of release equity that way. And that's the other option. It's unlikely in this market. But it could have been. With regards to the different strategies, it just depends on the investor. I mean, personally, we like to add value so that we don't leave a lot of money in the deal. Some investors are perfectly happy with just parking the money, so buying a property, doing minimum work to it, just rent it out, and making the money work for them a lot better than if it was just sitting in the bank, which right now pretty much gives you absolutely nothing. Okay, so as I said, this property, there isn't a lot that needs doing, and the reason that's sort of more challenging is that normally when you sort of buy a property or when you get a property, and you go through and you say, okay, well, new kitchen, new floors, redecorate, new bathroom, new electric, blah blah blah. It's really straightforward. Because when you say new kitchen, you just basically mean take out the old kitchen, replace it with a new kitchen, and that's just one decision that you have to make. Effectively, you just have to choose what the kitchen design is. This one, later when I'll walk you guys around, the kitchen, the cabinet units themselves and the worktops, they're actually okay. They're in good condition. This is a relatively modern or new build. So in this situation, for example, it wouldn't make sense to buy a new kitchen and install a new kitchen. So therefore, we'd have to be more creative and sort of work out how we can make the kitchen and the property look great without buying a new kitchen. And to do that, you can do various things like just replacing the cabinet doors or just sort of covering up with vinyl. They all have different pros and cons. What else can you do? You can potentially replace the sink as well, stuff like that. But it just means that now, instead of having one decision to make, i.e. choose a kitchen, now you have to choose. Now you have to decide, do I want to change the doors? Do I want to change the sink? What do I want to do at these worktops? Do I want to change it? Do I want to change all of it? What do I do about the sides of the worktop, which is often sort of damaged? Loads and loads and loads of stuff like that. And so there's now more decisions to make, more sourcing, for the materials and the parts, and then finding the relevant trades who can do one thing but might not be able to do the other. And then there's other stuff like when it comes to, for example, the walls. By and large, the walls in this property are actually in really good condition. Magnolia, which is really annoying, but there are some scratches here and there. You can't just paint over a scratch because the new paint, the tone of it will look completely different. So it'll stand out essentially, and then it will just look weird. So what you have to do then is paint the whole wall. And now you have to decide, is that scratch or is that mark worth painting the whole wall for? And then that would be, that decision would have to be made throughout the property. Stuff like that. Stuff like these, blinds, they're bit dirty, they're not in the best condition, but they're not terrible. So, what do you do in this situation? Do you take it all, take all the blinds and the blind units out there? Or do you just leave it as it is? But then as the landlord, you are responsible for it. And also if it's, if it looks a bit rubbish, it's not going to attract good tenants and it's not going to get you the premium rent that you need. Because ideally you want to refurb a place, get the maximum rent for it for the next sort of 5 years, normally 5 years. And then when the tenant leaves, refurb and again, do everything again, refurb and then rent it out for the maximum rent that you can get for the next 5 years again. So, if you're just going to rent it sort of below a market rate, in 5 years' time, that market rate will drop and you're just not getting the returns that you want. And also, you're not going to attract good tenants and you're not offering the best products that you can. So, going back to what I'm saying with the blinds, do we leave the blinds? Do we change them? Do we remove them? And again, that's a series of decisions that we'd have to make. Whereas previously we'd say, right, remove everything and then either put curtains there, put blinds there, or leave it for the tenant. Now it's like, oh, they're not that bad, but they are, but they're not. And it's like every single one. So yeah, those are decisions. So buying a property that doesn't require a lot of work, that was kind of borderline, it's actually more work for the developer or for the landlord, because there's a lot more decisions to be made as opposed to gutting everything, replacing everything. Because you're not replacing everything new, you're not adding a lot of value, so that you're not creating a lot of uplift in the value, which means you're going to leave a lot of money in the deal. So that's another thing to consider. But equally, if there's not a lot of work done, it only takes a few days to do the works, and then we can rent it out straight away, and then get a tenant in straight away. So it really depends on the landlord's position, what they're looking to do with their investment. Okay, so let me go and stand behind the camera and walk around, and I'll show you what we're planning to do with this property. 1 second. Cool. This is the outside of the property. That's the brand new property. I keep hitting my head on that. So, yeah, but this is my comment about the carpet. So as you can see, they're actually in sort of decent condition. I think a lot of landlords would actually leave the carpets as they are. Personally, I think new carpets are really important, modern carpets, so the color actually makes a difference. I mean, this is sort of brown. Yeah, it's not great. I think having something like a grey colour here will sort of modernise the look, and it will attract, it will be what tenants are looking for right now. I mean, brown might have been the colour that tenants were looking for maybe in the 18th century, who knows. Anyway, but the condition itself is actually not bad. You sort of look at it. So first we have the bathroom. Again, so we're just gonna, so this is the first thing. Do we leave that? Do we change it? It's good condition, but at the same time, there are some scrapes and marks. But everything else is, yeah, good condition. So all these radiators, it needs to be sanded down and repainted. All these will be resealed as standard, and all these will be regrouted as standard. But I think we're just gonna leave it as it is. This door, really nice door. Again, new-ish. You see marks around here, but not enough. That's annoying, because that's gonna be hard to, maybe we can paint it over, but that would be hard to decide. So I mean, do we paint over it? Do we replace it? Okay, so yeah, thermostat, door. Again, kitchen, again, door. So this door, again, good condition, that's scraped there. That can be removed. These will need to be replaced. So these can be cleaned down. So I think we're just going to replace these, or just take these off, but leave these brackets here. And then the tenant, if they wanted to, they can get their own slats, and they're really cheap, so that'll be okay. That's okay. That can stay. Carpet's been changed for some dark grey. The walls are really good condition, as you can see. That will be painted white, just to modernise it. This, I think, we'll just have to paint white, because that does need doing. Nice. Okay, so kitchen. This is probably the room that needs the most work. Needs replacing. I think this door needs replacing, really. Yeah, I mean, these aren't expensive, so it'll be cheaper to replace it than to pay somebody, you know, whatever, half a day to sand it down and paint it. The flooring is actually good quality. Well, good quality for this sort of build, so it doesn't make sense to replace this. So we'll leave this here because it's actually quite suitable for the kitchen. That's quite old. Ceilings. So this room will need to repaint throughout. That's a leak. There must have been a leak here. So this one is straightforward. And again, just sand it down and redecorate it, repaint it with a nice durable paint. Okay, so all these this can go, but leave that. That can be tidied up. That can go. So the garden, that can just be trimmed down, and then just everything, just give it a good brush down. The fence at the back there, it's just a 3-footer. That needs replacing, but that's actually it. It's just a bit overgrown. Yeah, okay, so this is the kitchen I'm referring to. Worktops, you know, not the best colour in the world, but actually in good condition. So we'll leave that, and then we need to try and find, then we're going to replace the cabinets with a colour that matches this, and also matches the sink, because the sink is actually quite nice. It's just, you know, we just need to find something that will match it, that will make it look modern. Tiles can be regrouted, clean and resealed. Cooker and hob is fine. That just needs cleaning. So these, see, absolutely fine, just needs cleaning. So we just replace the door. The other alternative is actually just change the vinyl at the front, but I think just change the door should be fine. This is where it gets a bit annoying, because that will need to be replaced, and then we need to decide on the colour, because you've got one colour here, and then one colour here, and they all really need to work together with that sink. Yeah, seems okay. Washing machine will go there. Okay, so let's go up to, it's 3 bedrooms. The bedrooms are actually quite small. Okay, so this is the landing. The decision is we can leave it as it is, because it's actually in quite good condition, and the banister. However, once we put new grey carpets in, will that match the grey carpet? Not sure. I think really we're going to repaint this, sand it down, repaint it white, just to make it look a bit more modern. All these windows, that needs to be resealed throughout. I was just talking to Gavin, our builder, and he was saying basically a lot of the builders, what they do is when they seal up these, what they do is they use their finger, they lick it, and then sort of scrape it down to touch it up, but then the bacteria gets into the silicone, and that's what creates the mold. Really, they're meant to use antibacterial wipes when they're done, and to wipe it down. Obviously, they must have used their fingers and licked it, and that saliva, the saliva in the bacteria would have done that. Okay, so this door needs replacing. Smallest bedroom, bedroom 1. Yeah, that needs replacing. It's quicker just to replace that and cheaper. Boiler room, decent boiler. Unfortunately, it's in a bedroom. Flooring is changing. But everything else is actually decent. And the walls are absolutely fine. This would just need repainting. That needs scraping down. But yeah, everything's fine. Just maybe we're just gonna repaint all these skirting, because that's where all the dirt seems to have caught up. Again, walls, absolutely fine. Dodgy green carpet. These will be replaced. Again, resealed, start again. But yeah, really straightforward. Third bedroom, again, quite a small bedroom, and I think with these, the walls are really thin with these new builds, not sort of the best. Okay, again, leave the walls, just change the carpet and repaint the skirting. That's where the rubbish attract. And bathroom. Okay, so that's a bit manky, so that needs to be repainted. We can leave all the bathroom units, replace the door, or we leave the bathroom units as they are, maybe change the taps, regrout throughout. That should be fine. Repaint, replace, remove this because that's a bit old, remove this, paint the back, that's a bit old. That's it really. So, you know, banister, fire. So we need to get the, okay. So the reason we're walking around in the dark is because these meters are on a prepay, which is actually really annoying because tenants, they're not going to want, the tenants we're looking for, they're not going to want prepay because it's, it's a massive inconvenience. I know it's going to be a massive inconvenience for us because we need to try and change the meters, and dealing with utility companies is an absolute nightmare. But really, it needs to be done. So right now there's no electricity or gas here, but we can just go and top it up. That's why we're walking around in the dark. So the builder would have to top it up. There's something else. Bathroom for there's nothing else. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that's been helpful. And I think, I have actually met the builder here, and he said 3 days to do all this. So I guess I'll need to call out our carpeting guy, Assad, shout out to Assad, ask him just to measure up, and then get him to come, and supply it, and then Gavin will then, once he's sort of done all the decorating and all the works, then he'll lay the carpet as well. But yeah, 3-day turnaround, pretty good. Means we can put this on the market in about a week's time, and hopefully find a tenant in about a week or two after that. Which actually works out quite well because our Minden Grove project, that one, we have to wait for the electrician to go in and rewire it first, so Gavin can't start on that yet. And also the asbestos issue as well. But the asbestos issue has been sorted now, so we just got to wait for the electrician to be able to start. He's starting on the 11th, and he should finish the week after. Then Gavin can start on the 17th, which means that this project actually fits in nicely within our schedule. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful. I think the next one is probably maybe midway through. Well, it's only 3 days, so it probably won't be midway through. I think the next one would be sort of the final walk around video. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful. See you guys next one.